Welcome to Rick's Corner, brought to you by Old School Labs, the brand I trust and the only one I put my name to. Use my code DRASIN12 on the link below.
Welcome to Rick's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
Let's go.
Okay.
Go ahead. No.
No, you have to prompt me.
I know that.
Come on.
All right. Welcome to Rick's Corner. I got Dana Perri on here today. We met by chance because we were in the same business. She's a fitness trainer. She's a motivator. She's a public speaker. She has her own gym. She has a background in gymnastics. She was with Cirque du Soleil. Just to mention a few of her accomplishments. And she's an amazing woman. We met and we talked, and I liked her right off. And I thought I wanted to share her with you because you guys will understand her view on training, nutrition, and how to put it all together.
Thank you, Rick.
How was that intro?
That was pretty beautiful. I'm so honored to be here and stoked that we did meet and that our paths crossed.
Everything has a reason.
I agreed.
You know?
Yeah.
And this is something that my viewers would like. I have a lot of men on. I have some women bodybuilders. But you're kind of well-rounded more into the fitness and overall workout that I think I like.
Thanks.
I think it's a good way to go.
Right.
Now, when you started out as a gymnast?
Yeah, I started out as a, as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a competitive swimmer and competitive gymnast. And at a really young age, I realized that the whole competitive mode of having to be in first place and be the best didn't totally resonate with who I was.
Yes.
And that's when I transferred into dance and theater. So that's sort of how the hybrid of who I am came about.
Okay, now gymnastics is number one. My ex-wife and my daughter were gymnasts.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the best sports around.
Yeah, it's pretty
I took it in high school and I fell on my head.
Maybe you were too big.
No, I really wasn't that big. I just was afraid. I'm going to fall if I do this thing. But the funny thing is, when I went into wrestling, it was all gymnastics.
Yeah, it is.
So I had to do all this stuff as an adult, and I actually accomplished it because I put my mind to it.
Right.
In theater, what did you do?
I did musical theater. I went to a performing arts school from age 9 till I graduated from high school.
Yes, you did tell me that.
And grew up in a very theatrical household. My mom was a singer and was in theater, and so mostly musical theater. Mm-hmm. So I found that I could incorporate the dance aspect along with singing and acting, and did that all the way through college, actually, until I realized that dance and more physical acrobatics was where my true passions were.
I'll tell you something. I don't know if a lot of people know this. You know, Arnold, when he was training with his roommate Franco and they were competing, they went and took ballet classes.
Yeah, I did know that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it helped him pose and it gave him grace.
Yeah. And
that's the same thing in the ring out there. The wrestling is ballet with violence.
Yeah. And, football players do the same thing.
I've heard that.
Not only, it teaches fluidity and motion.
Yes.
And in any kind of athletic sport, there's something about the grace of fluidity.
Yes.
As opposed to hitting sharp edges or whatever, which are good for some things, but at the end of the day, that's the basis of dance, is ballet.
Well, it's like moving on a movie set, walking. You have to have, you have point A and you have point B, but you have to have something going on in between.
Right.
You just don't walk over there.
Right.
Something's going to be happening in here, things are going on.
Absolutely.
All right, so then you got into training. Was it with weights first?
Well, conditioning and gymnastics
Mm-hmm.
was all body weight resistance, but we actually, we used apparatus, even though it might not have been gym equipment.
Yeah.
When I was first training. And then when I got to college is when I first really started working out in a gym. It was the first time that I had to worry about gaining weight. You're eating dorm food and pasta, and I didn't have any money, and so I joined a gym, and that's when I started doing weights, and I recognized for my body type how effective it was. I mean, so many women are worried about getting big, or if I lift weights, I'm going to get bulky. And it's really, excuse my French, a bunch of bullshit. It's not at all the case. It's how you do it.
It's not the case. I've talked to plenty of women over the years when I've trained. They said, I don't want to work with weights. I'll just get real muscular and lumpy. I said, you only wish you could.
Right, exactly.
You know how much work it takes to get to that point? Oh my God, it's the hardest thing in the world. You got to train heavy and eat calories and tons of food. It's just not like that. But resistance training doesn't have to be weights. It could be bands.
Right. Or weighted balls or any kind of, even Pilates or the methodology that I created at my gym at Shift is done on a spring floor, and we use resistance bands, light weights, and medicine balls, because your body reacts differently to interval training. And I feel like as we age, that kind of training creates health and strength and longevity, as opposed to just hitting it heavy and hard all the time. Your joints, after a while, can't take a joke.
It's true.
You know, and so it's finding ways, because I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I have no problem with that, and I train differently now than I used to, and it's learning how to get out of old habits.
Yeah.
Because our ego gets in the way. It's like, well, I used to be able to do this, and I used to be able to do that, and you know, we all fall into that.
Yes, we do. I was just talking about the other day about the weights, and I always trained heavy.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
that's old school, and that's just how I made my gains. And I didn't do cardio, but I had a really tiny waist because I wasn't eating any carbs. It was protein and fats. And then I started doing cardio at the gym lately in the past few years. Not a lot, just 20 minutes, because I think it's good for my heart. I don't necessarily burn fat, but I've seen people on the treadmills there for an hour every day, and they look the same year after year. You know why? Because they don't eat right.
They don't eat right, and they don't push weight. It's a combination, in my opinion.
Right. Your muscle is your form of your body, your skeletal structure, and your muscularity shows you the shape of your shoulders and arms and all that. So if they're in shape and you're dropping weight, you're going to look in even better shape.
Yeah. I always say the combination of whether you're male or female, to be able to do cardio and strength in the same session, and it doesn't have to be so much of one thing or so much of the other. That's really how you, and of course nutrition, those three things are such a beautiful marriage. And I think that we get caught up in old school behavior sometimes. Well, this works for this diet, this, and everything's trending all the time.
Yeah.
So you don't, it's confusing for,
you're bringing up a subject I came up with yesterday on Facebook Live. So many people are so confused. They write to me, what do? I hear this, I hear that. Do I eat eggs? Do I eat yolks? Do I not? Do I do this? And it's really basically simple. Now, you can work with the weights, but if you go too heavy all the time, you're going to wear your joints out like a tire.
right.
So you have to have the variation of whatever you're talking about with a CrossFit or something like that, that put some more exercises at different types of interval training or whatever you want to do. As far as diet goes, I've always been old school with high protein, low carb. It just always worked for me. And it'll work for any body over the past 100 years, because our bodies are all the same.
Right.
You know, we may, some people say, well, I don't respond to that. I don't lose weight when I'm not eating carbs. I need carbs for energy, but you really don't.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, if you want my true opinion, right? Like,
No, I don't want your true opinion.
I just feel like I have no problem doing lower carbs, higher protein, but it's because of the body type that I have.
Right.
And I burn at a different rate than somebody who doesn't, because of the activity level that I perform at. But I think that for somebody who's less active and they need some sort of carbs for fuel and energy, because otherwise they just drop flat. So it's the type of carbs, I believe. No, not bread, not, processed sugars and shitty food, but it's, you can do sweet potatoes, you can do quinoa.
No chocolate cake?
Well, I don't know.
Like I had
everything in moderation.
Like I had yesterday, first piece of chocolate cake I had in a month.
Did you love it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had a
it's
white
delicious.
icing.
Oh, good job.
And then later on I felt like, why did I eat that?
Yeah.
I have a doctor that comes on my show. He's my doctor, one of my many doctors. And he dropped 67 pounds in 2 months.
Wow.
He went on the keto diet. So he says, Rick, I can eat steak, like ribeye steak all day long. I can put butter in my oatmeal. And he says, I don't have any carbs, but I eat avocados. And he says, and the more fats I eat, the more weight I drop. And he says, and he doesn't work out. It's just all diet. Now he came in here, I said, no, it was him. That's how much weight he has lost.
Yeah. Keto works. It does. I mean, all of these diets work, in my opinion. I just don't know if it's a way to have a lifestyle.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So that's what I am trying to explain to people. Yeah, paleo works. Keto works. What else is happening right now?
Well,
the intermittent fasting. It works.
Well, I want to get on that in a minute. But if you want to boil it down to where it all came from, because you had the Atkins, the Beverly Hills diet, the Zone diet, the Keto diet, the Paleo diet. Well, it all came from bodybuilders back in the 40s. This is how they trained. This is how Steve Reeves, who was best Mr. America in the world, trained. He would do high protein, low carb, and then he would train 3 or 4 days a week. And that was their diet. Then all of a sudden companies get a hold of it and they put their name on it. and say, this is our invention, we figured this diet out and this is going to work for you. But the bodybuilders were the originals.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, and this is how it worked. And their whole idea was to live in Santa Monica, have fun in the sun, be tan, have a good body, work out, and eat. I went down there one day as a kid, and I see this guy, he's drinking a quart of cream.
Oh.
Yeah, I said, what are you doing? He says, I'm drinking cream. I said, why? He says, the fats are perfect for energy. Really? He says, yep, I take that with Blair's protein, and he says, then I have my steak and my eggs, and that's it. And then the other fallacy is egg whites. I mean, you should eat the whole egg. The egg is perfect food.
You should eat the whole egg, but you shouldn't abstain, in my opinion, completely from any food group. And this is my philosophy of overall health, because we have to remember that we're aging. We have to remember that it's not just today, it's not just the next 12 months.
Yeah.
And that the body, when it is shocked so intensely, whether it's working out or diet, you have to remember that your body's going to want to go back to a place of homeostasis eventually.
Yeah.
And abstaining from any food group completely, I understand moderation, just is not going to get you there for a lifestyle.
No, it's very hard.
It's just hard. And a lot of people are miserable when you completely cut out something.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, you said you had a piece of chocolate cake. Amazing. But you're not going to do that every single day.
First time in 2 months.
Right. But that's my whole point is you should be able to have something sometimes and not feel like you're beating yourself up for the next 3 days.
I know, but you do.
Well, you do if you're a competitor,
Yeah,
I would say.
You do, and you can't lie to yourself because you've done it,
Yeah, no, I get that.
But it's okay once in a while. I mean, I've been there and done that in bodybuilding. I made my name, I have my history and all that, and now I'm older, I want to enjoy myself once in a while.
Yeah.
And
But I want to enjoy myself too at this age.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you're 25.
Not really.
I'm 26.
Yeah. I might be 27. Don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about shift.
Okay. Yeah, my baby, as we call it. I created a studio, but it is also a methodology, and it's called Shift by Dana Perri. And it is an acronym. Shift is shaping how I feel today. And I believe that is the philosophy of life. Like, we wake up and every single day is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And the workout is done on a one-of-a-kind spring floor. And what that does is it works your core because of the instability.
Yeah.
It also takes out the impact. We do a little bit of plyometrics. There are some people who don't at all, and you can modify. We have all levels, and it is a full-body workout done to music. So that's the fluidity because of my dance background.
Yeah.
And it's a full-body workout. It's an amazing community. It's super fun, and honestly, I'm very proud of it. It's been a labor of love.
You've done very well with it. I think music, back in the days of Joe Gold, he wouldn't allow music in the gym.
Ah, interesting.
They were training there. No music. Of course, there was no cell phones, and they had a water fountain. And I got kind of used to it because I could focus better. Mm-hmm. But now when you walk in the gym, there's music everywhere. Of course, people have their headsets. But I think the rhythm of music gives me an inspiration to train and do my reps better.
Yeah. I think music tells a story, right? And we all have, that's a lot of my theater background, and what lyrics do, it invokes an emotion. You know, sometimes I'll be feeling happy and I listen to a song over and over and over because the beat drives me and makes me feel happy. Or I'll be in a somber mood and a song will come on and it triggers my heartstrings and I'll want to stay there, so I'll put it on repeat. But
I've been there.
So I think that, music is super inspirational, and that's why it's part of Shift.
It can really kick up emotions.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I've had that happen this past year on a lot of things. But I love it. I'm a musician, so that's my background. That's what I do. Where's your studio located? It's in Sherman Oaks here, right?
Sherman Oaks.
Probably straight up from me.
It's not far from here, actually. It's right at Beverly Glen and Ventura.
Right, by Fatburger.
Yeah, right across the street from that in Oak Ridge Plaza. Yeah.
All right, now you have classes.
Yeah, so we have group classes every day. We're not closed any days. So we go from morning until about lunchtime, and then we come back in the evening. So it's kind of very competitive in this boutique fitness world here in LA, and very similar times, because during those sort of 12 to 4, I'm doing a lot of personal training one-on-one and nutritional consulting with clients.
You're a busy woman.
I am.
That's really good, though.
Yeah.
So you have men as well as women.
I do.
And how do the men adapt to all that?
So to be quite honest, group fitness in general is still primarily women. But there are men who like the environment and being inspired by women.
Yeah.
But funny enough, my group fitness is more women, even though there are men. My personal training, I think because I'm an athlete, the majority of my clients are men.
Right, and you train celebrities.
I do.
I know.
I do. I'm proud of that.
We have a mutual one we know.
We do, Mr. J.K. Simmons. In fact, so funny, I trained him this morning, and I showed him the picture that you sent me, and he said, I know that guy. I love his energy. That's what he said.
Did you really?
He did.
Well, that was nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good man.
So, I think I'm a hybrid, like we spoke about.
Yes.
I'm very much a woman and proud to be a woman, but I have a masculine attack on things.
I can be both. I'm a woman around the house.
Yeah,
I do all the cleaning and all that kind of stuff, and I did when I was married too, because I didn't feel there was a difference between a husband and wife. I felt if something had to be done, I would do it. I didn't wait for somebody else to do it because maybe they're busy and I see it. Why would I wait for someone else to clean up a mess or do something when I know I can do it?
I love that, Rick. Good for you.
But that's how I was raised. My father was the same way.
That's beautiful, actually.
So
we need to train more people to be like that.
It's really difficult. People think they're entitled to everything. They don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
But it's...
You got to do the work. That's the bottom line. You got to do the work.
I did my yard, and I have a big yard. I used to mow it and edge and trim everything once a week, and it was a big job, but I did it until I hurt my leg, and then I couldn't do it anymore. I used to run with a mower for cardio.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Right? Outdoor activities.
Yeah, so I hired a gardener, and now it's done for me, and the price is right. So are you taking on new clients?
I am taking on new clients. Always, I also have a team who are personal trainers. I have a staff, and but yeah, my goal, I know I'm here for a purpose, is to help people change their lives, and I don't mean that in any cheesy way, but the reward that I get, Rick, and I'm sure you have felt this way, just being a teacher and a mentor yourself, is there's nothing like it.
Oh, I get emails that just make me cry.
Yeah, you don't even realize sometimes how much you're affecting someone, one phrase, and
I get it from all over the world from people, and I read these things, they're so emotional, and I thought, you're getting this out of me, and this is what happens, and so I continue to do it. There's no money in it for me, and I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it to help others. Right. And if I can put a smile on somebody's face, that made my whole day. If I can bring them up from drugs or whatever they are and have them back in the gym and feeling healthy after months, then I really accomplished something.
That's great. And
that's what's been happening for me. So that's why I have this show. And this is why I have you on it. And I think that it's just going to reach out to a lot of people and pull them out by their bootstraps and make them go.
Thank you. If
I can get out of this house the way you see me walking right now, if I can get out of my house, get to the gym and work out, there's no excuse.
There is no excuse. I mean, this man is pretty legendary. And to hear, and I'm not sure a lot of you know, but he makes it to the gym regardless of how he's feeling, and that should be incredibly inspirational. It is for me, and I go daily. So.
But when I leave, I fall apart like a cheap suit out of Tijuana. All the threads start to break. A little lunch, a little snack, and then I feel okay again, and I rest. Well, I'm certainly happy you came by to do this.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
And then once I go to my edit, I'm going to put up photos of your studio and you and everything that you've done. Okay. And your address and how to reach you. And let's see if it picks up some people.
That'll be amazing.
I'm sure it will, because you're pretty smart.
Hey, thanks.
You know what? You're almost as smart as me.
Almost? Okay.
I can't get the edge on it.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Dana, very much. And thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Enjoy the video brought to you by Old School Labs. Use my discount code DRASIN12 on the link below at oldschoollabs.com. Hey everyone, now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Rick Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, rickdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Rick's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
equalizer, baby. See you next time.